Hi, I'm Danielle. And before we get started working together, we wanted to share a little bit about us and our journey and what our emphasis is, our qualifications, why we do what we do. And so I'll go first. My day job, I am a sociologist. I'm a professor of sociology. So I've been trained as a researcher in analyzing human behavior, in identifying problems, questions, and then providing solutions to them. That really helps when we're talking about this mindful success coaching. And I'm also a teacher. So I've also been trained in trying to distill really complex concepts into easily digestible bites. And hopefully that's what we're going to be doing for you. Um, I have been a professor for about 13 years. For the past maybe 8 years, I've also been a meditation and mindfulness teacher. So I teach people how to meditate. And there's a lot of misconceptions about meditation. It's really not nearly as difficult as people think. And mindfulness, in the same way, has a really powerful concept which has kind of lost some of its power because it's such a buzzword right now. It doesn't really mean anything to a lot of people. So, here in Mindful Success, we try to take meditation and mindfulness seriously to help people gain more balance. And part of that is because that was such an important part of our journey. So, for me, I was way out of balance. I was stressed all of the time. I didn't have any time for myself. I was always worried about other people, trying to care for other people, trying to make sure that I did my job well, trying to take care of my family, all of these things. I wasn't sleeping enough. I wasn't eating well. I wasn't getting exercise. I just wasn't taking care of myself. And so for me, it was really meditation and mindfulness that kind of brought me back to myself and allowed me to sort of gain the full range of human emotions without getting overwhelmed. That's kind of a big deal for me, especially because it's really important for me to do my job well. And as a faculty member, there's a lot of different components to that job. I'm part administrator, part teacher, part researcher, and I just feel like I'm spread in a million different directions. And part of that job brought me to becoming a coach with the National Center for Faculty Development and Diversity to help other faculty learn how to gain more balance, to be more productive, but also to have a really rewarding, fulfilling life. And so, one of the things that we've found is that by being in touch with our values, by focusing on what's important, we can actually be more productive during work time and then be more rested and relaxed and engaged with our family during family time. So, that's what we're hoping to bring for you. And that's a little bit about me. I'm going to turn it over to my sister.
Thanks, Sid. I'm Heather, and that's my sister Danielle, and she's probably my favorite person on the planet. Just so you know, I am completely biased, so that's not a secret. Uh, Danny and I kind of came to this journey and developed mindful success coaching through very different paths. As she said, that she's a sociology professor, and she's a what she didn't tell you is she's also a practicing Buddhist monk. Uh, she's kind of like all that in a bag of chips. I come from a very corporate background. I work in human resources and I've been doing it for 20 years. And yes, I understand everybody hates HR. Everybody feels like they're being sent to the principal's office when they talk to HR. Trust me, I'm used to it. And yeah, sometimes I got to be the bad guy, but that's really not my forte. One of the things that I have learned and discovered throughout my many, many years of HR is I've spent a lot of time with people sitting in my office that were really searching for meaning in their jobs, but beyond that, meaning in their lives. And it really developed into a coaching and mentoring relationship with many employees, really kind of connecting their values, their pillars, what is true to them, to kind of what they're doing every single day. Like, how are they, making the money to pay the bills? And some of those have resulted in people actually transitioning out of the company that I was working in. And I'm still friends with them to this day, because for me, it's not about me and the company, it's about the connection with the people. And those people are much happier now than they were before, because I took the time to really kind of think about them. And I realized sometimes we're really, really good at helping other people with their stuff, but we're not so good at helping ourselves. So the key really is balance, right? To Danny's point, she's all very genteel about, I would pendulum here and there. Let me be really, really blunt about my pendulum. I'm like, boom, horrible, bad decision. Boom, do everything right. Boom, I'm gonna make another really bad decision. Boom, I'm gonna do everything right. And you know what? Technically, if I spend equal amounts of time in bad decisionville and equal amounts of time in good decisionville, the mean is balanced. Ching. So the truth is that's false. I needed to come up with a way where I wasn't feeling like I was at the whim of everything around me. That sense that Danny was talking about of overwhelm, of completely just feeling like you're being drained every day. And the problem is that happens when we are living our lives day to day for other people's expectations and not for our own values, not for our own pillars. So I love the idea of doing some introspection, of really kind of understanding who and what we are and connecting that. But that's all great, right? Like we've all read the books, right? I mean, I have read more guru books than I can count, and they're all great, right? I was like, oh my God, yeah, totally. I should do all those things. And then I fail miserably at them and I feel really bad about myself. And I continually feed the basket of, oh, I'm not good at that. I can't do that. I can't do that, which doesn't support me, right? Because I just can't do it their way. I can't do what they do because it's not me. Just like it's not you, just like it's not Danny. We're all different people. So I've learned through my obsession with observing people, and I mean lifelong obsession. I love to people watch. I would spend hours at Disneyland. My sister worked at Disneyland, and before I was old enough to drive, I would drive in with her on her 8-hour shift, literally sit there and just watch people for 8 hours. This is not a joke. And I'm telling you, you learn an intense amount of human behavior just by watching, especially at Disneyland. And one of the things that I observed is that we all have rituals, and those rituals trigger behaviors, and they kind of end up creating this domino effect. And the problem is we're not always aware of our rituals. We're not aware that that happens. I mean, if you stop and think about the last fight you had with your partner or with a family member, if you really think about it, it falls into a pattern, which then becomes a ritual. And the same thing happens day to day. It happens at work, it happens with your kids, it happens with life, right? And I decided, why not create rituals that are based upon my values, based upon my pillars that support me? And you can create the same thing based on your values and your pillars that support you. And learning how to be flexible and understanding that. My God, this changed everything. There is not a stretch of imagination where I'm saying that we're perfect and we've got it all right. We're constantly learning and constantly evolving. But the simple practice of taking mindfulness and blending it with the understanding of emotional intelligence and rituals has changed the way I look at the world and the way I live my life. And we want you to have the same thing, to learn those things and to continue to evolve and take these tools and let them take you throughout the rest of your life. So we're super excited that you're going to come on this journey with us. We're excited to see where you are today and where you're going to be tomorrow and where you're going to be 5 years from now. We would love to be able to maintain the connection. Connection, by the way, is a huge value for me. So welcome to Mindful Success Coaching, and we really look forward to working with you.
See you soon.